Okay, ladies and gentlemen, with me, Mr. Aivars Lidums, the gentleman who is a legend of Australian chess and South Australian chess. Yes, it's true, Aivars. And he, the man who met Bobby Fischer and invited Bobby Fischer to play in Australia in 1971. When did you first met Bobby Fischer, Aivars?
Well, let's start at the beginning. They were in 1972, July, August, when he was playing against Spassky for the World Championships. We had an opportunity to go to Reykjavik because I knew the German Grandmaster Lothar Schmidt. I met him, in fact, we had invited him to come to the Aivars Lidums International Tournament 1970-71, and we became good friends, and Lothar said, you must come up to Reykjavik and see Bobby Fischer. So anyway, with my family we went up there, and late July we were there, from memory about 26th, 27th, and we had our two sons with us, 11-year-old and 8-year-old sons. So when we arrived in Reykjavik, we stayed in the Hotel Loftleder, and we were staying on the 3rd floor. So we asked one of the staff, do you know which hotel is Bobby Fischer? And she said, he's in this hotel. Oh, which floor? She said, on the same floor as you are. I said, that's unbelievable. How can we meet him? Well, he said he doesn't talk to anybody, and he won't open the door unless sometimes he does talk to children. So our two boys, they had the program. We sent them around room 35 or wherever it was on the same floor. They knocked on the door and Bobby Fischer opened. I was not close by, so he had a chat with them and gave them a few hints, signed the autographs, and the boys were so happy. So anyway, the same evening we were invited, Lothar Schmidt invited us to dinner in about 10th floor of the hotel, and we had an opportunity to meet quite a few of the, can I say hangers-on, but quite a few of the grandmasters who were there also to see the match. And one that comes to my mind was Najdorf, because Najdorf was quite a kibitzer, quite a interesting, humorous guy. So I have good memories from him. Anyway, the dinner finished, it doesn't get dark at that time in the Reykjavik. So at about 1 o'clock, we were ready to get in the lift and finish. Dinner was finished. We had a beautiful evening, and to go down to our room. And as we got into the lift, pressed our floor, but the door opened, the lift stopped just in the next floor. So who comes in? I say to my wife, that's Bobby Fischer. So I introduced myself. I said, Mr. Fischer, you may remember we invited you for the 70-71 international tournament, but unfortunately you were busy and you couldn't come, and we introduced ourselves, had a bit of a chat. I introduced him to my wife. He shook hands with my wife, but no eye contact. He was very sort of iffy and nervous. Anyway, we had a bit of a chat. He didn't say much, but before he got to his floor, he already pressed the button and didn't even say goodbye, just walked straight out. So that was my 4 minutes of glory of meeting Bobby Fischer. Although we did go and watch his match, I think it could have been the 6th or the 8th game, because I remember he did beat Spassky in that particular game, and we were, like everybody else, sitting in the hall and watching it. And Leonid, I must say, it was a great experience, which I will never forget. Yeah.
Absolutely. Of course, I think Bobby, he didn't look at your wife because as today she was very nice, beautiful, and still is, woman. That's why he was probably scared to look at her.
I don't know, but my wife commented on that he just wouldn't make eye contact, and I understand he is a very unusual person. But as I say, it was a good experience for us.
It's fantastic. And also I believe, actually, you know, as you know, 2016 is 100 years from the birthday of Paul Keres, a legendary Estonian player. And I believe that you invited Paul Keres to play in your late dead memorial in 1971, but without any explanation, Soviet Union Chess Federation, they just, cancel Keres' visit. I read it in Gennady Sasonko article actually a few weeks ago. What was the story of Paul Keres coming to Australia in 1971?
Well, we couldn't invite any Latvians. We knew they would not be allowed to come. This was the first great international tournament ever held in Australia, so we wanted to make it a great success. And we invited quite a few grandmasters from Europe, from South America, from Philippines. And we thought, well, Keres, the uncrowned world champion who could have been but never was, we invited him. And we got a response, yes, he would be very happy to come, and there were no problems. There were a few more, there was no email those days, there were a few letters exchanged. And about 2 days before the tournament was to start, we received, not from Paul Keres, but from the Russian USSR Chess Federation, that Paul Keres will not be coming to our tournament. No explanation, no nothing, end of story. So obviously they realized that there were some Latvians organizing this tournament in Adelaide, and obviously they didn't want to let Keres come to this tournament. So unfortunately we had to play without Keres.
But you know, it doesn't matter. Tournament, it does matter. But tournament was the first, really big tournament in Australian soil in Adelaide. And just briefly, you born in 1936, correct? In Liepāja.
Yes, that's where I was born, Leonid.
And you came to Australia in 1949.
You know the story pretty well.
All right, fantastic. Thank you very much, Aivars, for sharing your unbelievable experience of meeting chess legend Bobby Fischer. It's a pity that Paul Keres wasn't able to make to Australia, but Len Bitol, also late Len Bitol, he played in Australia in 1991 in Lidums tournament, third Lidums tournament, and you see a lot of Latvian players played, and hopefully many more will be playing in Australian soil.
Well, Leonid, you mentioned that 1991, and that was the first time the Latvians were able to play in that tournament. And of course, you were invited, and you were, from the Latvian side, you were the chief organizer, and you're the one with your energy who could, in fact, went to Moscow and got the visas, and without you, possibly they wouldn't have been in Australia anyway.
Thank you very much. Yes. Thanks for your kind words, Aivars. Thank you. Okay. And all the best. Keep well.
Thank you.